The latest trailer for 1923 Season 2, Episode 2, has just dropped, and it is nothing short of shocking. Just when fans thought the story couldn't get more intense, the new footage teases unexpected twists, life-threatening challenges, and a battle for survival like never before. The Duttons are facing enemies from all sides, and it's becoming clear that the fight for their land is far from over. But this time, the threats are not just human nature itself has turned against them. This isn't just another episode, it's a survival test, and not everyone may make it out alive. One of the biggest talking points from Episode 1 was the eerie foreshadowing from the unexpected lion attack to the chilling howls in the distance. Every detail hinted at a larger storm brewing. The new trailer confirms those fears. The Dutton Ranch is no longer a place of safety. It's a target for both men and beasts. The winter has arrived with a vengeance, and with it comes a fight for dominance. The question now is, who will have the strength to survive, and who will fall victim to the brutal forces closing in? This upcoming episode is not just about action, it's about consequences. The Duttons have made their enemies known, and now those enemies are striking back. But even as they prepare for the battle ahead, there's another war raging within their own walls. Tensions are running high, trust is fading, and alliances are being tested. In a place where survival depends on unity, cracks are beginning to show. The trailer hints at emotional moments that will shake the foundation of the family, making it clear that the worst is yet to come. The biggest question remains, will Spencer make it back in time to save his family? Or is he already too late? The trailer gives us glimpses of his journey, but every moment feels like a race against time. Meanwhile, Kara is forced to take matters into her own hands, showing once again why she is the backbone of the Dutton family. And then there's Donald Whitfield, the man who has made it his mission to destroy the Duttons once and for all. His presence looms over every scene, a constant reminder that the danger is closer than ever. This episode isn't just another chapter in the story, it's a turning point. It's the moment when everything changes, when choices must be made, and when the true strength of the Dutton family is put to the test. The trailer leaves us with more questions than answers, and that's exactly what makes it so exciting. With every frame, the tension builds, making it impossible to predict what will happen next. One thing is certain, 1923 Season 2 is delivering on every promise, and Episode 2 is about to shake things up in ways we never saw coming. The second episode of 1923 Season 2 is titled The Iron Winter, and that name alone speaks volumes. This isn't just about the cold, it's about something much deeper. The word iron suggests something unbreakable, something harsh and unforgiving. Paired with winter, it paints a picture of a season that will test the strength of everyone in its path. This is no ordinary winter. It is a force of nature, a battle that will push the Duttons and their enemies to their absolute limits. Episode 1 already gave us a glimpse of what's coming. The chilling winds, the frozen landscapes, and the desperate hunt for survival were just the beginning. But if the title of Episode 2 is anything to go by, the real struggle is only starting. Montana has never been an easy place to live, but this season, it is more merciless than ever. The land is frozen, food is scarce, and predators both human and animal are circling like vultures. The Iron Winter is not just about the physical cold, it's about the emotional and psychological toll it will take on everyone involved. For the Duttons, this winter is a symbol of their current battle. The ranch, their home, is under siege. Donald Whitfield and his men are lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. At the same time, nature itself is turning against them. The trailer shows glimpses of wolves, lions, and other deadly threats. The battle for survival has never been more intense, and the next episode promises to push the Duttons to their breaking point. Hungry predators inch closer to the ranch, desperate for food. The Duttons are fighting two wars. One against the men who want to take everything from them, and one against the brutal forces of the wild. The Iron Winter perfectly captures this moment of crisis, where survival is no longer guaranteed. Tensions within the family are rising, and trust is starting to wear thin. The harsh conditions are not just testing their physical strength, but also their unity as a family. One of the most striking moments from the trailer is a scene of Kara standing at the window, rifle in hand, ready to defend her home. Her words, "Of all the things I've done for this ranch, this one takes the cake," suggests that she is about to face a challenge unlike any before. Many fans assumed she was talking about facing Donald's men, but now it seems more likely that she is fighting off something even more dangerous: wild animals desperate for food. This perfectly ties into the meaning of the Iron Winter. The cold is driving both man and beast to extremes, forcing them to make choices they never imagined. This episode title is a warning. It tells us that no one is safe. The Iron Winter is coming for everyone, and those who are not strong enough will not make it through. The Duttons have always been survivors, but even they may not be prepared for what's ahead. With the land frozen and enemies closing in, this episode will be a defining moment in their fight for survival. The title says it all. This is a winter that will leave scars, and not everyone will make it out alive. If there's one thing episode 1 made crystal clear, it's that Donald Whitfield is more dangerous than ever. We've seen villains in the Yellowstone universe before, but Donald operates on an entirely different level. He's not just a ruthless businessman, he's a man with absolute power and no moral limits. And now, in episode 2, he's about to show just how far he's willing to go to take down the Duttons once and for all. From the moment he entered the story, Donald has played his game with precision. He's not impulsive like Banner Crichton, nor is he a simple opportunist. He is a man who enjoys power, thrives on control, and, most importantly, sees the Duttons as nothing more than an obstacle in his path. But the key difference between him and past villains is that he doesn't just want to win, he wants to dominate. He wants to break the Duttons, strip them of their land, and reshape Montana into his own personal empire. And now that Spencer is on his way, he knows time is running out. Episode 2 is where we'll see Donald intensify his plans. He already has the legal advantage, and with the brutal winter making life on the ranch even more unbearable, he knows this is his chance to strike while the Duttons are vulnerable. But what exactly does he have planned? If episode 1 was any indication, he's about to unleash a level of cruelty we haven't seen before. Remember that chilling scene where he casually told Banner that they must force the Duttons into submission? That wasn't just talk. Donald is already setting his pieces in place, and in episode 2, we'll start seeing the full force of his strategy unfold. His biggest weapon? Fear. Donald knows that brute force alone won't bring the Duttons down, but psychological warfare will. He wants them to feel hopeless, to believe that no matter what they do, they're fighting a losing battle. That's why he has Banner terrorizing the ranch, stirring chaos, while he himself stays behind the scenes, pulling the strings. And now, as winter tightens its grip, he'll use the harsh conditions to his advantage. The Duttons aren't just fighting the cold, they're fighting starvation, exhaustion, and the ever-present threat of predators. And Donald? He's sitting in his luxurious home, watching it all play out exactly as he planned. But there's something Donald isn't considering his own allies. We saw a glimpse of doubt in Banner Crichton in episode 1. He may be loyal for now, but deep down, even he knows that Donald is dangerous. And as the battle for the Dutton Ranch intensifies, Banner might start questioning whether he's on the right side. That single doubt, that single hesitation, could change everything. Donald may believe he's invincible, but if his own men start turning on him, his empire could begin to crack from within. And let's not forget about Kara Dutton. She may not have the physical strength of Spencer or the brute force of Jacob, but what she does have is resilience. She has spent her entire life fighting for this ranch, and she won't go down without a battle. In episode 2, we'll see her take an even stronger role in the fight against Donald. She may be outnumbered. She may be outgunned. But if there's one thing we know about the Duttons, it's that they don't back down. One thing we've learned about her so far is that she never backs down. Ever since he set foot on foreign soil, Spencer has lived a life far removed from the struggles of the Yellowstone Ranch. He's been a hunter, a soldier, and a survivor. But now, his destiny is calling him home. He may not realize it yet, but he is the Duttons' last chance. Without him, the ranch will fall. Without him, Kara's desperate fight will have been for nothing. And in the next episode, his journey back will begin in earnest, but not without obstacles. Tension is reaching a boiling point, and this episode will set the stage for the ultimate showdown. The question is, who will make the first move? Will Donald finally tighten his grip and crush the Duttons under his iron fist? Or will the cracks in his own empire start to show, giving the Duttons the opening they need to strike back? One thing is certain, this episode is about to push every character to their absolute limits, and the battle for survival is just getting started. For too long, the Dutton family has been fighting a war they're not prepared to win. Jacob is still weak from his injuries. Kara is holding the ranch together by sheer willpower. And Jack, fueled by rage, lacks the experience to lead the family through a battle like this. Meanwhile, the walls are closing in. Donald Whitfield is tightening his grip. Banner Crichton is terrorizing them at every turn. And the relentless Montana winter is making survival nearly impossible. But despite all of this, there is one glimmer of hope: the return of Spencer Dutton. We saw the heartbreak of Kara's letter in the last episode, a painful reminder of how much time has passed and how much has already been lost. Spencer's guilt will be overwhelming. He left his family behind, believing they could survive without him. Now, he has to face the devastating truth: his absence has cost them dearly. But Spencer isn't a man who dwells on regret. If there's one thing we know about him, it's that he's a fighter. And now, for the first time in years, he finally has something worth fighting for. Getting home won't be easy. The journey from Africa to Montana is long, and time is not on his side. But Spencer isn't just facing physical distance. He's also up against unseen forces working against his family. Donald Whitfield isn't a fool. He knows Spencer is coming, and he won't let him return without a fight. We've already seen what Donald is capable of when he feels threatened. And if he believes Spencer is the one man who could ruin his plans, he'll make sure Spencer never sets foot on Yellowstone soil again. That means Spencer's journey home won't be a simple one. He might be hunted, betrayed, or even caught in a trap before he can make it back to Montana. Then there's Alexandra, the woman who has stood by his side despite every challenge they've faced. She has been Spencer's strength. But will she be willing to walk into a war she doesn't understand? More importantly, will she survive it? Because one thing is clear: if Spencer returns to Yellowstone, his fight won't end when he steps onto the ranch. It will only just begin. Back in Montana, the Duttons are barely holding on, and they know Spencer is their only hope. Kara, in particular, has placed everything on his return. We saw how much faith she put in that letter, believing with all her heart that if Spencer comes back, everything will change. But here's the brutal truth: Spencer might not be able to save them. The battle they're facing isn't just about strength. It's about politics, land ownership, and the slow suffocation of the Dutton legacy. Even if Spencer comes back as the hardened warrior they need, will it be too late? Another big question looms. How will Spencer react when he finally sees the damage done? His home is on the verge of collapse. His family is struggling to survive. And the man responsible, Donald Whitfield, isn't just any enemy. He's a monster who thrives on destruction. Spencer has killed before. But this time, it's personal. He won't just fight to win, he'll fight to destroy. But will his rage blind him? Will his thirst for revenge put the family in even more danger? And let's not forget Jack Dutton. The young cowboy has been filled with fire and fury since the beginning. But with Spencer's return, that dynamic is about to change. Jack has been forced to take on the role of protector. But now, the real protector is coming home. Will Jack welcome Spencer's leadership, or will he resent it? Because while the Duttons need unity, their greatest weakness has always been internal conflict. If Jack feels overshadowed, if tensions rise between the two men, then the family could start to unravel from the inside out, playing right into Donald Whitfield's hands.